See, you're looking the same. We're live, Joe.
We're live?
Really a great start.
This is
All right. Well, that's okay. No one seems to be on.
this is not being broadcast to like millions of listeners across the globe. I just been watching The Crown, and she would like have these when they were first on television,
yes.
and Queen Elizabeth, whatever. It was a big deal. Do you think this is going to have a comparable type of impact?
I think that was mostly on radio. So the first one.
They went on TV when she did her Christmas address. Her Christmas address. It was quite special. Obviously, it wasn't very meaningful to you, but for me,
are they still able to call it a Christmas address there? Have they had a war on Christmas?
I don't know. Well, we're celebrating Festivus here, so
yeah, that's true. Okay, so some people are joining in. So why don't we welcome folks to the first ever edition of GrepBeat Live?
Yes,
we are thinking, spoilers, that depending on how this goes, we may try to do it more frequently, even weekly. Who's to say? I don't want to look too far ahead, but we're doing it on something called StreamYard, though you're seeing it on Facebook Live. So we're pretty new to this, but we're just gonna. This is a Festivus edition, right? Have you?
Yes, this is a Festivus. So I do not have the steel pole that I talked about. A lot of things.
Well, what is the steel pole made of? What kind of? It's not steel, first of all. It's aluminum.
Is it metal? It's aluminum. See,
yes, it has a very high strength to weight.
Exactly.
Ratio.
No tinsel. Is that right?
He finds that very distracting. Frank Costanza does.
Got it.
Okay, for your fans out there, that actually was based on a true story.
That's what I heard. Like
one of the writers. His dad had made it up, and so I don't know.
Cool.
So that is so this is a Festivus edition, and I'm sure we will air grievances at some point. Just
I hope so.
Naturally, perhaps the way I'm running this, you might not be happy with already. But why don't we jump in to some? Oh, people are already sending comments. Let's see.
Yes.
Okay.
I've been replying. I'm very busy. I've got
from people in this office who are also watching us.
It's amazing. We didn't even have to go outside the internet.
Oh, Kevin Mosley loves us.
There we go.
Can we wave? I see him sitting over there. All right, we're going to put up only comments of people who can't actually see us in person.
What? I think that might take down our audience.
That might
decimate. Dramatic. Wait, I'm going to go to the power of Twitter. Let's see. Join us. Here we go on Facebook, which is not so cool. But all right.
Oh wait, Jim Roberts.
Jim Roberts.
Bulls. So he's excited by the Durham Bulls cap. I was questioning the choice of hat. Period. Not the fact that if you're going to wear a hat, represent the Bull City.
What's the question?
That wasn't a question. He just said Bulls with, I think, 4 exclamation marks. He was reacting to your hat.
I got a 4 exclamation mark. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I usually get 3. So I'm really happy about it.
This is more, it might be 5. I don't know. I might need glasses. I might need my reading glasses. It's hard to tell when they're all next to each other like that. This is what also annoys me. Now you see people less and less put commas. If the number was like 1,000 or 100,000, they don't put a comma every 3. And
they do. Sometimes they do. It's different in the UK.
Frequently, they're not. Well, we're not in the UK,
but we're reaching everywhere. So, anyways, this is very exciting.
Right.
I'm very excited. This is a whole new step for GrepBeat, and I see you're representing GrepBeat, Pete, with your shirt there.
Yes. All right.
All right. And as you know, I am as well. We've been testing.
I know.
Ripping off concepts. So we're trying to do our best to rip off those Supreme shirts, which go for several thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
but I
still don't really know what that is exactly. I looked it up.
But I didn't. You gotta look it up. So, cool. All right. So,
but we're actually going to talk about some actual news type things in the news.
Let's do it.
I'm not sure if you've heard, but there was a big hack of everything in the country. It sounds like 18,000 organizations, and since all news is local, it does have some local ties. So it sounds like they came in SolarWinds, which
Yes.
Here's one thing I was doing a little digging on this today. According to Reuters, in 2019, a security researcher informed the company that its update server had a password of SolarWinds123. That doesn't inspire a lot of confidence.
We had to go through so many steps to get on here. For me, I had to go through that double authentication thing, and like you have it and stuff like that. And so, and unique passwords. And so they're telling us all this stuff. But I think, people need to eat their own cooking a little bit. I mean, SolarWinds123, and now we have to do all this other kind of crap.
Well, and then it came through, so they got into SolarWinds, and then they were able to insert the code into the updates that, like, apparently everyone uses SolarWinds, like every
it's an IT
federal, state,
software company,
local agency. It's like 18,000 organizations, all the companies. Anyway, everyone's like, update. This is why I don't update. Every day Apple's like, hey, you didn't update it. It's like, I'm afraid you're gonna, because they're always trying to get rid of my Microsoft Office. It's like from 2010. So then they're gonna not let me use it anymore. I can't afford new. Maybe we can talk this off screen. Whether Greppy can cover me in case they try to kick me out. At any rate, that's how it got in, and it was like 6 to 9 months ago. So they've been rooting around. Now, SolarWinds, of course, based in Austin, so they're bad guys.
Well, sort of.
But
So
they have office in Morrisville. Had already had there, right? And then they bought Samanage. How do you say that?
Yeah, Samanage, which is actually a kind of half Israeli company that was also based in what's it called? In here, Cary or Morrisville or something like that. But also it's more interesting than that. So a long time ago, the CFO of Red Hat was a guy named Kevin Thompson, and he went on to, I think for a short time, was CFO at SAS actually, and then left to become CEO, and just is recently leaving. And I think it's before all this at least came more public from, guess where?
SolarWinds?
That's right.
Really?
And
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wait, but when did he leave? Was this on his watch?
I think he's leaving like weeks, months, not years ago.
All right, so then he probably is still. Because it happened like 6 to 9 months ago. We're just finding out about it.
I would guess there's a little bit on his watch. Did it get caught on their watch? Maybe not. But was there not paying attention on his watch? Seems like to me.
Right.
I don't know. I'd have to read these things. I think he actually, let's go to the power of LinkedIn.
In the future, you could potentially read some things ahead of time, and then we could come out here, we could discuss them.
What is that? What is this, like tension within the groups? We're supposed to be like co-hosts here, and you kind of throw me under the bus here.
Well, I'm just, we always want to make each other better. Right?
There we go.
Who's typing up better than that?
I wrote that.
Oh, okay.
Jim Roberts is giving me, thinks my my go-to password is Godfather123.
Yes, right.
There is a very common Joe associate password used for things that all people who worked at Bronto would know. And Pete, you could probably guess what it is, but we're not gonna put that out on the interwebs because
we should not put that out. There's not a lot of password hygiene within your company. There's some.
I'm getting a lot of sunlight.
Once they crack your code, they'd be able to.
Well, my personal passwords are much more complicated. I do have a little method to madness, so it's a lot more rigorous than what SolarWinds was doing. So
okay, but I'm glad that you're saving your tough passwords for your personal stuff, whereas people could root around and
get on our Greppy Wi-Fi and take free internet.
They could take our, take over our Twitter and things like that. MailChimp, they could get on there. That's one of the.
Probably shouldn't mention all of this very specific places they could get on. We should keep it a little bit tighter.
Yeah, so. Fair enough. But what if you were? So we have a couple of local cybersecurity startups. If you're in cybersecurity, is this like disaster? No one's going to want to use this, or you're all like, well, how can we use, their misfortune to our benefit? To
I did.
Be ready to capitalize on news.
Yeah. Well, it clearly stinks for them. I mean, they're a publicly traded company. Yeah. So I think when basically I have some trying to do this at the same time. So Paul is kind of chiming in some guesses, and he's close.
I won't be.
Give him that.
I won't be posting that one.
Okay, yeah, we're not gonna see Paul.
I'm not going to post that on this.
Paul's throwing stuff out there, and just because he thinks he's in like Czechoslovakia, I don't even know he's still over there, because Paul was too dangerous actually for the United States. And at Bronto, so we actually he later on got shipped off out of the country, and that actually was a security concern because he was just so dangerous. And Paul knows that, and that's why he's chiming in.
And now he's just in Facebook trying to out passwords.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what government is paying Paul, but clearly it is. So
he's not trying to make. You think it's a state actor?
I think there's a state actor. I think Paul McCullough has picked up another citizenship, and I don't know if he's trying to make America great again. I'm just saying that. I'm just throwing it out there. So, Paul, we hear you.
We know political, but did you see that story yesterday that some Dutch guy has twice guessed Trump's Twitter password?
Yeah, it's like MAGA 2020 or something.
Right, but then he had one before that was "You're fired" with no apostrophe.
Yeah.
That was what he used before. I mean, come on. That's pretty. And Trump was not using two-factor authentication. So he didn't have to yell on Slack, like, hey, Ivanka, what's my.
I get the purpose of two-factor authentication. I get it. And like with bank accounts and things like that, I get it. But like, it's just like, do we really need two-factor authentication to get on this application here to do this? I mean, like, what's the worst going to happen?
Honestly, we have I'm not sure how many factors. Like, there's not even really a password. They just send you an email every time.
Well, so the secure thing is you're supposed to have something like a password, and something you have, like your phone, right? And so that's how it works. But in their case, they did like the bad part. You need something you have, but they actually didn't really require a password. But if we did require a password, we know, and Paul knows exactly what password we would use.
Right. I thought he was not right. Or you're supposed to say he's not right?
Well, he put on some more guesses.
Okay.
Let's not move on from Paul. I don't even know how to take Paul's little comments there. I don't even know how to take Paul down.
I don't think you can.
I want to expand.
I don't think you can take it off Facebook.
I want to just say that. Well, it's on the screen. But here's the thing about Paul.
They can't see it on the screen unless we put it on the screen. But I think on Facebook.
But there's one on the screen right now. So either way, here's the thing about Paul.
I think
we had remember we had these nice happy hours in the before times?
Yes.
Remember we had this? Well, Paul would come every once in a while. This is before we shipped him out, or maybe he was back for some reason. Anyways, so everyone's kind of getting like, when you're getting free beer, you go get like reasonable beers, right? You go get your $5 or $6 beer. That's what everyone does. Not Paul. No siree. He gets the most expensive beer on there. I think it's like over like $10 or something like that.
They
he
drinks $10 beers.
I think you could get some expensive kind of high alcohol, super fancy beer.
Belgian.
I don't know. See, I don't even know. I don't operate those kind of fancy levels. I'm just operating like I'm the everyman. I don't even know. I just drink.
Claiming $12 is how much it costs.
See, there we go. See,
is that what the tip? I think he's a very generous tipper.
No, he didn't tip either. Money. He didn't tip. It was just a free. He turned in his little gem or whatever, and he got his drink, and then ultimately he was going to roll back to the accounting machine and charge us $12.
I've got the whole bag of gems, like 10.
It wasn't an IPA.
It turns out that you can't just use them in other places. I can't just say, "Hey, can I have a drink?" I give it doesn't really have exchange value.
Outside.
They're pretty narrow.
Kind of move back from Roman times. Yeah. Pete's Paul's asking if I tipped. We always tip. Actually, I don't like to handle the cash.
We do tip. I actually tip.
Do you tip?
A lot. It depends how many free drinks I've had.
Dude.
I mean,
See, all the secrets are coming out.
I was told that Colby Ventures is very generous with local entrepreneurs.
We do. That's true. We try to be.
Yeah, and so
every once in a while you get a Paul that rolls in. It's like, whatever, sky's the limit. But you got to temper it. But you know what? It's not going to stop generosity. We just have to keep the train going. So,
right.
Hey, what else is going on in tech? What's going on in Grubbeat?
In Grepbeat. Oh, maybe I'll just jump ahead in my show list here.
Okay. Wow.
I haven't really actually looked at any of these things, but just in case. I was looking yesterday at the most read stories in 2020 on Grepbeat because I'm going to write something for the beginning of the year. And so I don't want too many spoilers, but you'll probably know the answer to this. The two most read stories in 2020 on Grepbeat, neither of them were written in 2020. One was from 2018 and one was from 2019. You can say them because
well, one is the Elton John manager. Like you make some off reference to Elton John. People
no, that was
Google
actually
Elton John.
The story was a real thing. It was I remember I was first pitched that. It's like we don't write about LJ. It was a guy who was his manager, like early manager, who maybe had paired him with Bernie Taupin. And that guy's in Raleigh, and he has like a startup, sort of like a music licensing clearance type site. I forget the name. So when it was first pitched to me, I was like, this has nothing to do. I was like, oh, you know what? I can sell it as that. And I guess because, the movie was coming out, Rocket Man. So I think when people must find it on Google, but that's second, but it's a distant second.
Okay, well, what is the number one, right?
You should know this. I've told you.
I know.
It has something to do with a TV show. That's why it keeps coming back.
It's got to be a Shark Tank.
It is a Shark Tank. It is the cue ball. Yesterday turns out to be the most traffic in history because it was aired again. When I looked up the numbers yesterday, it was already number one, but it had like another 1,000 views.
We should base our whole journalistic, I don't know what you say in the lingo, but like articles we write completely based on the rerun schedule on TV.
Well, the thing is, it's not
rerun.com.
So this one is for cue ball. It was we wrote about it in 2018, and they'd already been on the show like a year, 6 months before that. I enjoy the show, so I did recall them. And what that was it was basically like a microphone in a ball. So, for example, they've used it at one of the conferences here. That'd be one of the uses in a conference. It's like, hey, there's a question out there. It's kind of a fun way to like throw this big ball, and they catch it, and then it's a remote microphone. Or schools.
Wow. It works well.
Kids, it works well. Anyway, for whatever reason, we're very high. We're like third or second on the Google search if you just do cue ball Shark Tank, and which people seem to do every time. Whereas we've written the same sort of story on reward stock when they went on Shark Tank. So I was like, this is also going to be goldmine. But for some reason, a lot more other places have written about them, and including them, they've done some good content marketing so that we're only on the second page. So we don't get the same sort of surge on that. So like reward stock, really, what good are you guys doing us? You're not giving us any.
We need more. Hey, so let's. So Chantal wrote in a comment about, and I know this was on your list.
Oh yeah, this was
Silicon Valley
number 2.
Well, she's got really great vision. Yeah, you just kind of see it. I can't see it, but so let's talk about that. What do you think about that, Pete? What's going on?
So the question is, do they think there's a Silicon Valley exodus? No. Yes and no would be the answer. That way I can cover both bases.
Wow. You should be a politician.
Like, what does it mean now to move your headquarters if everyone's working from home and no bodies are really moving? And for example, Oracle moved to Austin?
Yeah, Oracle moved to Austin. They had just set up a very large, so as you know, Bronto was acquired by NetSuite and then hence subsequently acquired from Oracle really quickly afterwards. And Austin had set up a very large facility in Austin specifically for salespeople, particularly ADRs, BDRs, SDRs, which are kind of junior level salespeople, and they were doing all the hiring out there. So, Austin, of course, is a very popular place. They've got UT there, so they can fuel that. I would imagine a lot of the driver of these shifts has to do with taxes.
Yes.
So if you look at two things, actually. So at the end of the day, if you look at the change in federal policy where you can no longer deduct state taxes, that's created a pretty good, solid influx of people from the north in high tax states like New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, down to places like here, and even more so Florida that has no state income tax. That's what I've
Texas
never heard
also
of.
doesn't have.
Yeah, I've heard of that migration. The migration in Silicon Valley to
Hewlett
either
Packard
Austin,
also moving. Tesla maybe is
Hewlett
moving.
Packard kind of makes sense anyways. If you look in Houston, so Houston's where Texas Instruments is, and it used to be, and Compaq was actually built there. So there's a pretty deep hardware, old school hardware community in Houston.
Dell, Austin, but.
Well, Dell's out of. I worked a summer at Dell in Round Rock, which is just north of Austin. It's like the, I don't know it's like the Cary. It's like the Cary of Austin.
Okay.
Sort of, I guess. And yeah, and so they kind of have a nexus around there. So in some ways, HP makes a lot of sense. But that is a very symbolic move, because Silicon Valley and the whole story about their shed and all those guys, that's like deep within Silicon Valley lore. So I think that kind of hurts the purists, actually. But then you have Oracle. So they're moving headquarters. I'm not really sure what that means. I think it's more of an indication of the future hiring. Larry Ellison sent out a note, is like, just so you know, I'm not moving anywhere. I'm still going to live in my private island in Hawaii. And okay, just throw that out there. But then there's been a number of moves, and I think this has been in the more vocal venture capitalist community. There's this been moving to Miami, actually, which is
who's moving to Miami?
This one dude. He's such a jerk.
Like one dude
it's Keith Rabois, or Rabois. If you read his tweet, it is like, is this for real? Like, can someone be so arrogant and so obnoxious as this guy? I think he's a partner in one of, I don't know, it's like Founders Fund or one of those like trendy Silicon Valley kind of things. Anyways, good riddance. Anyways, he's moving to Florida, and I don't think.
Who is he? He's a VC, or is he?
Yeah, he's a VC. Yeah, he's extremely obnoxious.
But is he saying companies are moving down there?
He's saying that he's moving down there, and there might be a few other kind of VCs and prominent people. I haven't seen so much companies. There might be, but it's easy to make that move now when everything's virtual. But 20 years ago, when the internet really became very, very mainstream, everyone's like, oh, this is death of Silicon Valley. No one needs to be centered anywhere. They can work from anywhere. And all those things were true. But the exact opposite trends happened. People actually clustered because it's the same thing in New York as well. So do I think it's a death of Silicon Valley? No. Do I think the gains of technology happen in more different cities? Yeah, I think so. I think it will cluster in more different places. I mean, Austin. So in the 90s, it was the Triangle of Austin. We were very much kind of neck and neck. We had a number of big companies in telecom, like Nortel specifically, and a few others, and all that crumbled. But where Austin, Dell was the fastest growing stock in the 90s, grew, and they just continued to benefit from that. So Austin kind of went up, and we kind of more or less stay where we are, which is.
Well, it seemed like Austin went up before Gretbeat was here. Like, it had Gretbeat been here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was, because it was basically like they're going up uncontested. Like, hey, there's nothing that can stop us. And then this immovable, powerful force of Gretbeat, like the red wave that they call it in like Illuminati circles, when they're all powerful people. I'm sure at Davos, you were at Davos.
I thought you were talking about Lou Malnati's Pizza in Chicago, which is very good deep dish. But maybe
Illuminati, yeah. Okay. Then the red wave, which is called Gretbeat, comes in and kind of like changes it up.
If you're in Chicago, you should go to Lou Malnati's. So.
But I'm not in Chicago. Even when I'm
just saying when.
I'm not. I'm really just downstairs. I'm looking at Durham right now.
That's true. But one, just like last week, a company moved here and like nobody knew about it. So it's this publicly traded company called Phreesia, which is like a SaaS company for healthcare. It's in New York, and no one here knew. And it's just they announced it on an earnings call. And they're like, yeah, so we moved to North Carolina, but like, it's just, they even said this from a legal and regulatory perspective. Like the CEO and COO are staying there. Everyone's working 100% remote anyway. So they're just like, basically, we're just changing the address on our bank. Like, I'm not even sure. They're basically saying we're doing it for tax reasons. I'm not sure you can even say that. But it seems like there's so much economic development down here saying if we could only get corporate headquarters here. But if a lot of bodies aren't moving, then what's the point on that?
Yeah,
should we be going after workers who are working for Oracle, but here?
So there's a whole bunch of stuff, right? So one, I want to address some of the comments. So yes, Austin sucks. They got crappy fires. But tax is no state income tax. States still have to make money. So they're getting their money from somewhere else. You're just not paying it in the income. There's that, and then I think so Chantal was basically saying,
I'm not saying a big influx, but maybe
I think we're seeing
Google
influx
engineers
from New York and New Jersey. If you look at the residential housing market, the housing market related to New York, New Jersey, absolutely, we're absolutely seeing.
I mean, isn't everyone from New York?
It definitely picked up. Okay. It definitely picked up with. Well, you win some, you lose some, but like it started with Claire, right? In fact, I used to work with my wife actually. So it definitely started accelerated with COVID because there was less benefit of actually being in the city. And there are already reasons to move anyways because of the taxes and whatever. And I think people, from what I hear on the street, they've been less happy with New York based on how New York has run under de Blasio. But maybe those are just people who don't like de Blasio. I don't know.
And I do think anybody likes de Blasio, from what I understand.
Probably. But I do think that's a big factor in San Francisco. I mean, if you look at the homeless problem and affecting day-to-day lives, I mean, despite where you are on the spectrum, people are very frustrated. Certain people are very frustrated with a lot of the policies in California and the Bay Area. And if they are able to move, then some of them have, right? And so whether those policies are justified or not, it definitely has triggered exodus. I hear more about that than taxes. When I hear about the Bay Area, I hear more about like
cost of living, quality of living.
Yeah, cost of living, quality of living, those kind of things. I think with New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, it's more just high taxes. Why be in the city if you're not getting the benefits? Everything's shut down. People are moving to not small places, but mid-sized places. And I think the Triangle has been one of the big beneficiaries of that, actually. I'm going to switch my seat. So we could see. So this is just like, this is too distracting.
So we're showing, I mean,
it is.
They're building, I don't.
But look, you can look outside and you can see like random people like walk by.
So we're showing people the two different floors of Column Ventures World Headquarters. That's out the same street. That's looking the same street, but higher.
But now I have weird shadows, so I have to kind of like adjust this. Anyways, all right, enough about me. This is my dark profile. So, all right, so what else we got? Oh, we only got 3 more minutes. We have
it's fortunate because I actually don't have all that much more material. I mean, we had something that we skipped before.
All right, so Jim Roberts, 30% of people selling a house in California are leaving the state according to news today. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that up here.
Like, I mean, I don't know if, Silicon Valley is just really expensive a place and it goes in waves. When we had the .com bust and we had like 2008 with real estate, I'm still getting weird light.
Kevin Mosey was upset that I showed the back of his head.
Okay. Well, I think he has that trademark.
What are you talking about? It's not like the back of my head. Like,
he's got. Anyways, I think whenever there's a downturn for whatever reason or change, and we have an uneven downturn, there's these articles always come up. But I don't know. I don't think it's the death of Silicon Valley, but I do think the wealth gets spread around a little bit more. We'll see.
But as an economic development, effort, should the focus almost more be about trying to attract individual people who are working from home for companies based elsewhere? People are Google and Facebook and everyone else, or the corporate headquarters when they might not even bring many people.
Well, the Triangle's always done well for that second R&D office. Right. I think really what you want is the corporate headquarters because that's where you get more of the money, quite honestly. And when people sell and M&A activity and all those kind of things. And so the more corporate headquarters, and it leads more to philanthropy. And and also if you think about economic
development. But that's
only
if the people move. Like now that just in the last couple of weeks, months, when it's work from home, when these companies are moving, they're like, oh, but that's okay. The senior executives aren't moving. So it's like, well, okay, that's the good part.
That's the way it is at first. But they don't want to, if you think about it, they have to not rock the boat. They still have to run a business. So they don't want to scare everyone off. They always say that. It's like when a company gets acquired, oh, nothing's going to change. Everything's in place. We're not doing anything. And always like, yeah, for a few years, and then everything changes, right? And so they always say that. So I don't know.
So
if that's,
what have you been saying that's not true to me? Now I'm kind of like,
so here's the thing about economic. I think we talk a lot about these knowledge workers, but what it gets lost are like the everyday workers, right? And so it's who are the jobs for, right? And then I think that's kind of the tricky part, is getting a nice mix of jobs that can have like the really high end knowledge workers, but also, I mean, ultimately that's the challenge when we have loss of blue collar jobs or good paying, blue collar jobs. So, anyways, that's a longer
right. And then also just the social, I mean, not service industries around it, which is what is getting killed the most.
Yeah. It's a very uneven. I mean, the stock market's doing great, actually. It's been a great year. So if you look at it from an investment point of view in the public market, if that's where your money's coming from, it's been awesome. Right.
It's a totally uneven recession.
Not only tiny, it's just radically uneven. So if your success is based on your paycheck from Texas Roadhouse or Chili's or whatever, devastating.
Right.
And which it makes it so cool, So anyways, enough of that. So here we're kind of coming up on our time.
Yeah, no, we're already 31 minutes.
So
we're over, technically.
We're over time, but
1:30.
But I think we should give a preview. We're kind of testing this out. This is obviously a holiday special, so I don't know if you were planning to sing any carols, this would be the time, Pete. So I don't know if you're planning that or not.
No.
Okay, just kind of throw it out there. But hopefully it's been great. Of course, GrepBeat, we've had it's always become an interesting and compelling year, and kind of covering the tech news scene and the Triangle, and this is kind of our holiday one. So we'll hopefully in the new year be able to kind of see if we can turn this into more of a regular thing.
Yes, perhaps I did read a story yesterday on Santa Baby, the song about the guy who wrote it, who was like 94. Actually, he had a viral thing recently. He was playing Beethoven, which is more impressive when you're 94 playing Beethoven. But he's made a killing on that song. It was like from 1952. It was like his second hit that basically paid for the rest of his life. It was an interesting story.
Well, maybe that's where we should put our true time to
song sit around. Licensing.
We can we can reinvent GrepBeat into just like a holiday classic and just this hit machine. Like
I'm sure this episode will be replayed every holiday by everyone.
We'll send out into space.
Yeah.
Maybe not SpaceX.
All right. So we are going to end things, but we may be back to bother you in the new year, perhaps more frequently.
All right. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy Festivus. Bye-bye.